questions for Mansoor, raise your hand. We'll get you a wireless mic. Raza.
Mansoor, last week we talked to Derek Canteen, and he said that the trio of you and him and Dorian Strong, you guys all, make each other better with your different strengths. You all pull off of one another. I asked Dorian after the game on Saturday, what he thought about that, and he said you guys do, and you have the chance to channel that into being one of the best defensive back groups in the entire country. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I feel like we're a very competitive group, whether that's being first one in facility, last one out, first one to get an interception. We talked about before the game who's going to be the first one. And, we're just competitive, and I feel like it pushes everyone to play at their best level.
Mansoor, you and Dorian alike were only targeted 8 times, being on the outside, giving up 1 reception. Canteen, he forced a fumble, Strong obviously with the interception. How does it feel to know that offenses have to prepare for you in such a role that they're not even going to target you, that you put them on the island?
Definitely. We talked about before the season, offenses are going to have to choose a side, whether it's thrown at me, Dorian, or in the slot to Canteen. And at the end of the day, it's an 11-man job. It's not just us 3. Those guys up front did a great job. It makes our job a lot easier.
Back of the room, Brooke.
When you scout Purdue's offense, see how much they pass, what do you expect to see on Saturday?
More targets. Last night, a couple nights ago, obviously we didn't get that many targets, but, we expect this week to be targeted going forward every week. So, just going in this week, being better than we last week, we have to improve.
Front row, David, and then Damian.
Going off of that, what stands out to you about Purdue's wide receivers when you watch on film? What kind of challenge are you expecting?
Explosive group. I feel like they're hungry. Last year, a couple of them coming off injuries. Everyone out there trying to make a name for themselves. So they're going to have that chip on their shoulder, and they're going to want to make plays. So we have to be ready for that.
Coach Price said after the game, and both today, he praised your guys' pass defense, but said you guys didn't make them throw it enough. Mm-hmm. What did you see in terms of looking back and watching film on the run defense, and where would you guys like to improve and get better in that area?
As far as just the preparation, as far as our scheme, they kind of did different things a little abnormally. It's with the wide splits and stuff like that. So it kind of made things tricky as far as like calling plays and stuff like that. But this week goes back to a more traditional offense. So I feel like we're able to widen up that playbook, and everyone can play fast. Everyone do the job.
Even with a more traditional offense, there's still air raid. They're going to try to keep that tempo up and try to go vertical. What's a mindset for a corner to not only be ready for that, but also have the mindset of not letting anyone get behind you?
Definitely. We play in the ACC. It's a passing league. So when I signed to the school, I wanted that and I expected that. So I love it. More targets, more opportunities to make plays, and you love that opportunity to be tested. So.
Colby, and then we'll come to Andy.
A lot of young guys got their first opportunity on Saturday night. We've talked a lot about the young guys like Braylon and Mose. What did you like out of them and playing next to them, and what was the confidence level?
Proud of those guys, man. Ultimate confidence. Like I said before the season, I knew those guys were going to be playing. I knew those guys were going to be needed, and they just have to keep improving every week. Last week, I harp on like that was last week. Teams are going to get better every single week, and if you stay at your level where you're at, other teams are going to continue to get better. So just going in this week, constantly improving, knowing that next week team's going to be even better, even more hungry, even more passing. So just to keep improving, I'm proud of what those guys did.
A focus this camp for you was cross-training. You had some snaps at safety. How did that feel?
That was cool. I wouldn't say I expected that for game 1, but, it was fun being back there, kind of bring back to some high school days, and I feel like I was able to go in there and know the calls and fill that position.
I was going to ask you about that safety. What shifts mentally for you when you switch spots like that?
I would say just knowing where the rest of my team is on the field. When you're at corner, you're kind of more of an island, and it's kind of you versus the receiver. But when you play safety, you have to understand where your help is, understand who you're helping, gaps to fit. So just really switching my mind as far as a scheme basis and trying to fill in those positions.
What is the reaction among the cornerbacks when Dorian gets an interception like that late in the game?
Like I said, we competitive, so it's competitive. Like, oh, he got the first one, but now next week I want to get one too. Canteen wants to get one too, but obviously, pride of that guy, man. Last year, season-ending injury. It's just good to see him out there, game one, going back at it, making plays, and doing what he does.
Did you give him grief for getting tackled inside the 10 on the return?
I understood, late in the game, him being tired and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we got to make that 6 points, so definitely need it better.
Back of the room, Anthony.
Mansoor, you mentioned sort of being able to benefit off the pass rush. That was something that Dorian talked about after the game, too. Can you just describe how the pass rush and the secondary sort of benefit off of each other in this defense and how it makes you both better?
I would say we have the saying in the defensive room where, pass and rush go together. So, we do our job, it makes their job easier. They do their job, makes our job easier. So, it's on a string. So, I'm really proud of what those guys did, and it just showed that, made our job easier. We get some of the credit for not being targeted, but they're bringing that pressure, so they get credit too.
David, and then we'll go to Zoom.
You mentioned Dorian's interception. Derek forced a fumble. What did you see on that play? And turnovers were such a high priority, high focus in the offseason. How good did it feel to, while the offense didn't turn the ball over at all, you guys were +3 in the turnover category?
That was harped on all offseason, tacking the ball, stripping it, going making plays, interception, lane drills. Just our whole focus was take the ball away, get the ball back to our offense. 3+ turnovers each game, and our chances of winning the game goes up tremendously.
Let's go out to Zoom for a couple.
On Zoom, we'll open it to questions for Mansoor, and we'll start with Steve, please.
Mansoor, watching the film of Purdue, is this a unique attack that you're seeing, or last season were there some other similar types of offenses that you remember dealing with?
I'll say pretty traditional offense. Obviously every OC is going to have their tweaks and certain things, but pretty similar concepts. I don't think anything I haven't seen before, like I said, but those guys explosive, making plays. Obviously dude took slant to a touchdown in the first third down of the game, so those guys are making plays, and I like what I see from the offense.
Thank you.
Any final questions for Mansoor on Zoom? All right, Travis.
Anything else in the room for Mansoor? Thanks, Mansoor.
Appreciate it.